Hi, I'm Linda Henderson, and I'm a professor in the School of Business and Professional Studies. I'm very happy to be here with Line Ramsing, who is a doctoral candidate at Aarhus University in Denmark. And Line and I were going to share with you some of our mutual interests in project management and communication, and in particular how Line came to be here at University of San Francisco. So, Line, I think your story about how you found my research, both current research and old research, is a really good one. Would you like to share some of that?
I'd love to share that. Well, the thing that happened is the work that I do, the dissertation that I'm working on, is about communication in projects with the focus on the project manager. And I was doing a literature review to find out what is there on project communication in the literature. And I really didn't find a lot. What I did find was a lot that was externally oriented. And one day, one of my colleagues just threw this article on my table with a note saying, Lina, this could be interesting to you. And that was your 2008 article, as far as I recall. And I read it, and I got instantly interested in what you were doing, because your focus was also on the project manager and his communication with the team. So that article is full of notes and scribbles and exclamation marks. And I went online and I searched for everything, more or less, that you have been doing.
Google search makes that really easy.
And our own, databases.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Our academic databases.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And once I had read everything, I kept all that in mind, and I started building my references and my dissertation around these articles. And about a year passed, and I had done more, so I knew more, and that's when I decided to, I was going to contact you to see, because within the Danish Ph.D. program, the government recommends that you go abroad to get networks, to change
so fabulous and so healthy and
environment.
Would give you such a global perspective.
Yeah. So what they do, you are supposed to yourself find the contacts, and then contact them, have them invite you, meaning that you have to really have something that is of interest. So I thought, well, no points for not trying, and I wrote you the email asking if you wanted to play, and luckily you did.
Well, I remember getting the email the first time, and I was when I first read the email, and I was rather shocked, because I thought, oh my, this young scholar from Denmark, halfway around the world, has she's gone and looked up some of my early publications that I haven't looked at for years, and has found they have been of value to her because they relate to what she's doing now, and she's taken them certainly further than what I did at the time. However, I kind of felt like I had planted these seeds, and they were just below ground for a while and hadn't come fully to harvest. And that was my first thought, and the feeling that, wow, what an opportunity for me to have you come here and visit, and then share in conversation about our mutual interest in project management and communication, and so it was very gratifying, to.
But also, as we have already been talking about, that there aren't that many scholars who mix the field of project management and communication.
That's right.
And the Center of Corporate Communication, where I'm based at the Aarhus School of Business. We have a lot of communication, we have a lot of management communication, we have a lot of organizational internal communication research, external PR marketing, and then there's one of my colleagues who looks at rhetoric in project management. But it still isn't the same. It differs from what I'm doing. So
Yes.
I have to go elsewhere. I have to find my input and my learning elsewhere. And finding you and the department that you're in, which matches perfectly with what I do and the mix that I do, is extremely enriching for my work, the research.
Maybe we should talk for a moment about the importance of the research that we both are doing in terms of communication and project management. I know that in my 2008 article in the Project Management Journal, I studied project managers from the point of view of their competency in communication in terms of how they decode and encode messages, and then ultimately how that affects their project team members, and in particular the satisfaction that these members feel with their work on the team, and how productive they feel that they've been. But that's kind of at a micro level. You really are taking it with your dissertation at a higher level, I think, in terms of internal versus external communication.
Yeah, well, maybe not necessarily a higher level, but definitely another perspective.
Yeah.
Because we're both dealing with the competency, the communication competency of the project manager as such, not really dealing with the project team, where
right.
team communication.
Right.
There's a lot that has been written on that. But what I do is I find that the research that has been done on project communication, as in how to maintain relations with customers, with external stakeholders and potential customers, to create those relations, that is important, but it is just as well important as to what are the relations and the way the project manager is communicating internally in the company. So what kind of communication network does the project manager use in the conduct of his project? And that makes my focus even more specific, as in I look at the project manager's style of communication. Who do they talk to, when, why, how, and how does that influence their resource acquisition, for example, both human and political and non-human. How does it influence the way that they conduct their project?
And really, that research hasn't been done yet. To my knowledge.
Not as far as I know. No.
I think a lot's been written, certainly in the popular press, about how project managers really have to rely on their ability to influence without any kind of authority. But in terms of a more systematic look at what that environment looks like for them within their organization, that hasn't been looked at from a research perspective specifically. And in terms of really trying to highlight what the networks are that really support his or her work getting done.
Also because you have to take into consideration the traditional the traditional understanding of project management as being the reports that has to be written, the stakeholder analysis, and the communication plan, which is a huge part of the project management procedure, and that has to be there as well. But the personal touch to how the communication is done is what I looked into, and to do that I base it on, for example, social network analysis. I draw a lot of information from there. I draw information from impression management, issue selling, in order to understand what it is that is actually going on when the project manager.
It's going to be such a fabulous contribution, Lena, to the literature. It really will be. It's very mutually beneficial, and it's I think the best of what academic life can be, when scholars find each other with the mutual interest and at different points in their careers, and can I think shed light on. Certainly helps me. It sheds light on my early work for myself as I'm looking back, and it's reinvigorating my view forward in terms of what I want to do
Yeah.
going forward.
Yeah. And not only the network that is created between the two of us and,
Yeah.
and our own groups, but also the fact that in this case the Danish government makes it possible for PhD students in Denmark just to go. I mean, everything is financed. We just have to make the contact and get the invitations, then everything is paid for. Making that contact between the Aarhus School of Business, the University of Aarhus, and the University of San Francisco, hopefully for long-term collaboration in other fields other than ours as well.
We could be sister schools.
Yeah.
Sister business schools.
Yeah. Yeah.